All right, let's talk about one of the biggest, most powerful ideas in smoking, the belief that a cigarette just makes a peaceful moment perfect. We're going to dig into what feels like this cozy, comforting ritual and expose it for what it really is, the great relaxation heist. You know the feeling, right? Maybe you're sitting outside listening to some music, just enjoying a moment of quiet after a long day. No stress, nothing wrong, and then that little thought just pops into your head. A thought so many of us have had. You know what? A cigarette would make this even better. It feels so true, so natural.
And that one thought kicks off this incredibly powerful loop in our minds. It starts with the cue, that calm moment. Then comes the craving, the idea that you can enhance it. The response, of course, is to light up. And the reward? Well, the moment just feels more special, right? More complete. And that cycle just drills itself into your brain over and over again.
But here's the twist. What if that whole thing is built on a massive misunderstanding? What if this cigarette isn't adding anything to the piece at all? What if it's just a con artist that shows up and takes all the credit for the calm that was already yours?
Let's break this down, side by side. The illusion is, this cigarette helps me calm down, or it helps me enjoy this moment. But the reality? The peace was already there. It came from the quiet, the stillness. The relaxation was already happening, because in that calm moment, you were already breathing more slowly, more deeply. The cigarette just swooped in and hijacked the feeling. In fact, we can give this a name, the hijacker effect. Think of it like this. Your life is a peaceful movie scene, and the cigarette is an actor who just walks on set, stands in the middle of the shot, and takes a bow, as if it created the beautiful scenery that was already there. It hijacks the credit, and your brain starts to believe it.
Here's an even more powerful way to think about it. It's like a thief who steals your wallet and then, seeing you're upset, hands you back a tiny bit of your own money and says, "See, I'm helping you out." That's nicotine. It creates a constant low-level state of withdrawal and agitation in your body, and then by smoking, you briefly relieve the very problem it created. It's a protection racket.
Okay, so that's the feeling, that's the analogy. But what's scientifically going on inside your brain that makes this whole con so darn convincing?
Well, before you smoke, your brain is just fine. It's balanced, it's calm. Then you introduce nicotine. You get a little spike, but what comes after is a disturbance, a restlessness, a craving. So you smoke again to get a brief bit of relief from that craving. But all you're doing is resetting the timer for the next disturbance. You're not actually achieving relaxation. You're just bouncing between craving and the temporary relief of that craving.
So here's the absolute bottom line on this. Nicotine isn't adding a single drop of joy to your experience. In fact, it's doing the opposite. It's actively preventing you from just enjoying a natural state of peace for any length of time. It creates a problem that only it can solve, which keeps you coming back for more.
Now, I know what you might be thinking. This all sounds interesting, but is it real? Well, what if you could prove it to yourself? What if you could run a tiny, simple experiment and see this whole illusion fall apart right before your eyes?
It is so simple. Next time you're having one of those great calm moments and your brain whispers, "A cigarette would make this perfect," just pause. That's it. Don't fight it. Don't argue with it. Just wait.
And in that pause, do a little check-in with your body. What's actually going on? You'll probably notice your breathing is already slow and deep. Your shoulders are probably already relaxed. Your mind is already quiet. You'll realize there is no problem here. There's nothing that needs fixing. And if you can just sit with that craving, let it be there for a minute or two, you'll discover something absolutely incredible. The peace doesn't go away, but the craving does. It just fades out. And the moment is still whole, still complete. You'll see with total clarity that nothing was ever missing in the first place.
And this realization, while it brings us to a much deeper way of looking at this whole thing, see, there are really two battles here. When you stop smoking during stressful times, you're breaking your physical dependence on nicotine. That's huge. But when you stop smoking in moments of relaxation, you're doing something way more profound. You're breaking the illusion. You're overcoming an addiction to a belief.
Because that's where the real chains are. You can fight off physical cravings for a long time, but true, lasting freedom, that really begins the moment that core belief, the idea that the cigarette gives you something valuable, completely shatters into a million pieces.
So, after all of this, the loops, the hijacker, the brain chemistry, if there is only one thing you take away from our chat today, what should it be?
It's this. Simple but so powerful. The cigarette never, ever made the moment special. That quiet time on the balcony, that feeling of peace after a hard day,
Those moments were always special, all on their own. The smoke was just getting in the way of you seeing it.